Hello, my name is Chamchi Gimbap. I am the political fish, and welcome to Political Guess Who Panel 2 wrap up. Quiz Mistress Angels was our quiz mistress, as it were, and I'm joined by Cameron at the moment, and the others shall be with us shortly. How you doing, Cam?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah, I heard you've been doing some cycling today.
Yeah, quite a lot actually. Nearly 30 miles, I think, total.
How many?
I think it's about 27 miles in total.
So you basically did a marathon on your bike today.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Fucking hell. What, when the bus is running or something?
No, I felt like it.
Oh, fair enough, mate. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Oh dear. Oh, so I mean, we'll get into the nitty gritty. But your score, like 4 out of 5, that's quite big. Do you normally score high on these quizzes that we do?
Yes, I usually do actually.
Yeah. What did you get on mine? Do you remember?
I can't remember.
Swisses?
I can't remember them, but I know they're like similar marks to this.
Similar, like, three,
Yeah,
four.
I
And
think.
did you ever get 5 out of 5 on any one week?
No.
No. Okay. That's good then. That's good. So it's not like massively easy, and like everybody I have on the panel is like really, really bad. Then, but yeah. Captain Swiss says he was 4 out of 5 this time. That's good. That's good. Hi G. What's for dinner?
Hello.
Hello G, mate. How you doing? What's for dinner?
Chicken.
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 Chicken. What? Chicken with a side of chicken, and then chicken dipping and chicken.
If I have my way, yes.
Oh, I love a bit of chicken. Yeah. So you scored. This. Everybody scored the same, didn't they? On this round of political Guess Who, didn't they? A 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
2 for 2. Yeah. Yeah, it was a good round actually. Yeah, enjoyed it. It was fun. So I was just talking to Cameron. Cameron got 4 out of 5. He normally scores, in the 3s and the 4s. Like, you have to be on the panel at some point, Cam. It has to be done.
All right.
Excellent. Once in 4 weeks' time, once I'm looking for a new panel, will you do it?
Sure.
Excellent, Cam. Jack James, poor Jack James. 2 out of 5, his personal best. Well done, Jack. Nice one. Jack, why don't you click the Hangout link? Come join us. Angel said she's just going to pour herself a drink and she'll be right back with us. I'm not sure about Luke. I know he was having problems joining the other stream, so I might need to put his email address. I think I'll have to. I'll send him a personal join link anyway. I was thinking about that tweet you sent the other day, G, about how the temperature is just going up and down, up and down. We're having the same thing here in Korea. Like, it's like from one day to the next, there'll be like 20 degrees difference. That is so fucked up, man. So.
Well, we fuck the climate up. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly right. And yet there's still deniers out there.
It's a real mess. I saw an article on the Mirror the other day. All saying it's gonna be snow the next few weeks. I'm serious. They'll talk about having snow in Scotland, right in the middle of that heat wave. I just couldn't believe it.
What was it, like 30 degrees last weekend or something?
I don't know, a bit less than that. Probably about 21 degrees.
All right, it was 30 degrees here last weekend. And then on Monday, it was like 10 degrees. It was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. After the heat wave, it drops to about 10 actually, and then just got constant rain.
Mm. But it does rain in England a lot, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yep.
That's now because there's too much carbon in the air.
It's true. True. Oh, come on, Angels. So give us your skinny G. What did you think of this round of political guess who? Was it easier than you thought it would be? Was it more difficult?
Well, I mean, I think it all depends on the person picking the questions. You have to sort of guess what they're going to pick. I mean, I thought it was far too obvious for that to be Vince Cable, but then it was either him or Ming Campbell. I thought, well, it's not going to be Ming Campbell.
Yeah, true. Well, I was, to be honest, one of my ones that I've been planning was going to be Boris Johnson, right? And I'll share this with you now. I'll show you the picture that it's not really the picture that I was going to use, but it's you'll get the idea. So and you can tell me whether you think this one would have been too obvious or not. Okay, so hang on. It probably would have been, but okay. So I'm gonna share my screen. You can tell me what you think. So, who's that?
Well, obviously someone with flamboyant hair.
Yeah.
Well, can't really do it any other way.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it could have been a bit too obvious, but yeah, you can see Boris Johnson in that, can't you?
Hey.
Oh, hey, Angels. Hey, Angels. You stole one of my MPs that I was going to use in mine, being Boris Johnson, and this was going to be my picture for Boris Johnson.
Oh my God, he does actually look like that as well.
But yeah,
the whole family have hair like that, don't they? Even his dad.
Yeah, that is so funny though. Like, it's they're just such unapologetic toffs,
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Union Jack on his t-shirt. Your mad paint skills.
Yeah, true. But he's actually pro-immigration. I mean, was that a question that Luke asked?
It was like he's not again. Like he was saying, take back control of our borders during the campaign and shit, wasn't he? So like,
yeah, he could have gone either way. I mean, he really didn't give a fuck, did he? He was.
No.
It's all about Boris Johnson. With Boris Johnson, he doesn't give a fuck about the country. All he cares about is his own career. He wants to be prime minister, essentially. And the way things are going, I think he could actually be prime minister, which is really fucking scary. But
yeah, well, he's quite he's one of the rookies' favourites, isn't he? Like, or at least well up there. Now I'm sitting down, by the way, for like the first time all day. Oh my God, I could literally go to bed now. I'm not even kidding. It's not even 6 p.m. It's quite fun though, political guessing. Like I've been quite good at the other ones. Like I always find myself getting either them all right or like 4 out of 5. So actually one was really, really difficult. I can't remember which one it was, and I was like, what? Like I would never have got it in like a month of Sundays. I can't remember which one actually, but Apart from that, I seem to do pretty well. I love how 2 out of 3 of Jack James' right answers have been Vince Cable.
I did find that quite funny. I was because we were waiting for you for ages, you know, hashtag Angels time. I was just chatting to Jack James and Captain Swiss in the chat, and he was like, I enjoy it, but my scores are always shit. Okay. I was like, fair enough. And I was asking him his scores. He was like 0, 1, 1. Like, but yeah. So yeah, poor Jack James.
Difficult, isn't it? Like when people bring up like certain politicians from the past, like some people, unless it's, you know, like Churchill or stuff like that, unless it's somebody who's like really, really infamous, like it's difficult. You know, loads of people don't even know them, and it's like the same with the Lords, for example. You know what I mean? There's like tons of people there where you wouldn't really know what they were called at all. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Everybody does have a bit of Daddy Vince, James Fielding.
No, I now that you're here, I've got to congratulate you on a great round as your as being the first to do it. I think in a new panel, I think is quite gutsy, quite ballsy. So well done on that side. Also, well done for great pictures. And I can totally see, like, when you line them all up, and the pictures you chose of all the MPs as well.
Yeah,
I totally see all of them. Right.
Yeah.
I'm still a bit pissed off I didn't get that Damien Green right though, because like I said, you're either really really good at this or you're really really bad, and I think that was Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah, but the thing is, that could have been like that picture could have been Damien Green. Like I can understand why you said it basically.
And that was, as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's got to be Damien Green. You know, especially with his history of you know, and the precarious nature, because he was. Did he resign or was he sacked? Oh, he resigned, didn't he? Because of his
alleged porn on his PC.
He's not fucking alleged at all. He was watching porn for 8 hours a day.
Yeah, he had loads of porn on his work parliamentary computer or whatever it was. But was it actually his personal one or just within his office? Like
in his office, right? So he's the only person that could have logged in, right? And of course,
is it only him? Like, or is there other people?
No, it's his personal computer.
Oh, okay, right.
You know, so yeah, well, yeah, and he does look a bit like Humpty Dumpty.
I can't believe that my 5 were 4 Conservatives and a Lib Dem.
Well, you're a closet Tory. Like,
I was going to say I might have to start asking myself some serious existential questions.
This is just funny. We got like the 3. I was like, hang on, this is a bit weird.
Yeah,
why
3.
Why are we 3 in and all Tory so far? Like,
I think it's because because the ones that looked quite funny, like Humpty Dumpty and obviously like, you know, Boris's hair and stuff, they just happened to be Conservative really more than Labour. And I remember I was going to do Diane Abbott because I have this character from Yu-Gi-Oh that looks like Diane Abbott. But I remember that somebody did Diane Abbott last time, and yes. I was also going to do. Oh, there is this like villain from Yu-Gi-Oh as well. You can obviously tell what I like. But there was this villain from Yu-Gi-Oh as well that looked like Philip Hammond in this like weird black hat. And I was trying to find the photo on my phone. It's like from ages ago when all the Yu-Gi-Ohs were being like streamed on Twitch. And I remember taking a picture of it and being like, oh my God, it's Philip Hammond. And I couldn't find the picture. I was really annoyed. So, oh well. And so I was actually Googling other photos because I wanted to do Philip Hammond, obviously, because he's my MP and he's just the Undertaker and stroke salad fingers and he's just a laugh. But when I Googled salad fingers, obviously, I realised everyone would know who it was straight away because of who the character was. So I was like, oh, I can't actually make him salad fingers. So I'd have to make him something else.
Yeah. It can be difficult picking the picture because you don't want to be too obvious, but then on the flip side, you don't want it to be too obscure that nobody's going to get it. So yeah,
exactly.
It's a tightrope, mate. It really is.
I was like, I can't just make it salad fingers because everyone would be like, oh, well, Philip Hammond. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, oh, okay. I'm going to see good old Phil at the Count next week.
Really?
Yeah, he tends to turn up, even if it's like locals. He tends to like be at the Count. So,
Gee, have you got anything you want to comment to Angels while she's here on her choice of pictures?
Oh no, sorry, I was reading an email. No, I think the pictures were quite good. That the Matt Hancock one was quite clever.
do you think? Yeah, because do you know what? I only did the Cheshire Cat after seeing like his beaming face, like on Twitter, and I was like, oh, I know, because he's always like, he's so like hashtag Wi-Fi and fun, check me out in my new role, look how active I'm being, and you know the future's digital and all this, and like, and so I was like, oh, I've got to put Matt Hancock in there. I mean, he's like, you know,
that's really weird when it comes to like Tories. Normally they're quite digitally inept, aren't they? They're not really the most plugged in of parties, as it were.
Well, it's also because I suppose they have quite a lot of older people. Like I know that if since the Conservative vote does it, obviously not everyone, but I mean, since the Conservative vote does attract some and quite a lot of older voters, then by default, like obviously they know that older voters are not, or at least are less likely to, some are, but are less likely to be sort of, you know, computer minded and techie and like online and stuff. So but they have to have someone for Wi-Fi and fun, don't they? It wouldn't be the same without it.
Yeah, this is true. This is very, very true. So Luke's not going to join us because apparently he's got something urgent to do, like, I don't know, feeding his cat or something, probably.
Yeah, that's okay. We could just chill out for a bit, but if I go silent, it's because I've passed out through tiredness.
So how's campaigning going? You were saying it was going really well, yeah?
Really well. Like, we've covered so much of the ward, and this is just me and one of my mates. Well, and actually a couple of other volunteers who I know, who basically said that like they do their own roads kind of thing. So like we gave them, you know, a bunch of leaflets and they did that. It's going really well. Like we keep dropping into all three. I've got 3 pubs in my ward, which is quite fun.
Well, hang on a minute. Stop the press. Is this Mr. Switzerland back off his sabbatical?
What? Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Hello. How's it going?
Yay!
Hey, Swiss, welcome back.
Hi. I thought I'd drop in and say hello for a little bit, see how you guys are all doing. I've been listening along for the last couple of streams today.
You got Matt Hancock straight away. I knew you would.
I wasn't the only one, but yeah. When you said, what was it, that he smiles all the time, I was like, well...
He's very pleased with himself and his...
Yeah, he's always got a cheerful look on his face.
He just like, so I normally go with gut feelings on these things, and my gut is so far out, it's unreal, right? Which is the first thing. The other thing is I'm gonna throw away that coin somewhere because it meant I didn't get Boris Johnson right. But yeah, I normally go with my gut, and it's yeah, I just didn't get it. I wouldn't have got it in a month of Sundays, which is really stupid because everybody else did.
But sometimes you can make it super obvious, and then people just question themselves. So
yeah, true.
It actually works better sometimes than being crazy clever.
Yeah, true.
I like had to do that this morning before. So like I did that before work, and I was like, quick, I've got to hurry, I've got to get this sorted. And then I was like, right, work time, and then right, canvassing, fuck, and then I was running late, obviously, as per. And then yeah, and then I got back, and then my dad's like, oh, I'm gonna go canvassing in my ward. So I was like, oh, I suppose I've got to give you a hand now then. So left the house again. It's manic.
Busy work.
Oh, like you wouldn't believe, honestly.
So, Swiss, are you? Do you have an actual date that you're planning to come back into the fold, or are you just going to play it by ear and see what happens?
I've been thinking about this a bit lately. I think it would be it would be very hard for me to want to ignore the local elections. Part of why I left is that I was kind of, you know, having difficulty keeping up with the schedule that I set for myself. I was starting to find it a bit stressful doing all the videos and everything. But as far as the local elections go, that's one thing that I'm looking at going, well, I don't actually want to miss out on that. I know that I'm going to have a lot of fun trying to predict the results and maybe doing like a video or a stream for them or something like that. Whether like after next week, basically next week, you can expect a couple of things from me on the channel. Whether after that I want to kind of come back doing stuff nearly full time again as I was before, I'm not sure if I'll jump straight back into that, but after next week you might start seeing a few things from me here and there. That's probably the best way to put it.
Well, Ben's had a great idea, and I think it might help you spread the workload. You know, something like the Sunday stream, for instance, which is a bit more casual and unscripted, is that maybe different people could host the Sunday stream on a weekly basis. I mean, Sty's taken it over for now, but you know, Psycho Benz was like, you know, why don't you just, or why can't we just, you know, have a different, but say like Angels would do one Sunday, I might do another Sunday, Styzer might do another Sunday, and then you would do another Sunday. Because I know the Sunday stream is kind of a wrap up of the week, and it's, you know, they're generally quite long, and it's a continuous thing. And if you could have the Sunday stream off you for, you know, 3 out of 4 weeks, that would give you more time to think about, you know, other videos, for instance.
Quite long. Once there was a Sunday stream of something like 5 hours on Swiss's, and then there was like across 3 channels we streamed for a total of 17 hours.
Shit.
It was Swiss's, and then like mine, and then like Stizer's or something, or the other way around. And it was just absolutely like people had gone to like work, like night work, and people had gone to bed and they woke up again and we were still streaming.
That's crazy shit, man.
I know.
I think Ben had said to me on Facebook about other, because I think I'd seen Stizer's doing a Sunday stream, or the Sunday stream on Sunday, no doubt on Sunday, obviously. Yeah. I think that's a good idea. Especially, I mean, as I say, I think I'll be doing a bit of stuff for the local elections next week, but I'm certainly not going to be doing the Sunday stream this week. I'm not even a couple of
Robot Swiss.
It wouldn't be a proper return unless I went all robot, would it?
No, I didn't.
I was just saying I'm unlikely to want to host a Sunday stream at least in the next fortnight. So anyone who wants to take over instead, you're more than welcome for the time being.
Well, I did speak to. I think Ben's has a great idea. I did approach Styzer with it, and he said he was like, "No, I'm gonna kind of take care of it." And but he did say that he wouldn't be doing the midweek stream. So yeah, basically, I mean, I'm certainly not gonna stream at the same time, you know, because that's just pointless, isn't it? Let Styzer take it, and until you come back off sabbatical, and then we can discuss it further, I suppose. But
that's a good plan. You know, I'm at a point in the future, I'd be quite happy to sort of come back and, you know, do the Sunday stream each week or most weeks or whatever. But for now, I'm easing myself back into it. I'll put it that way. I want to make a very gradual return to doing stuff on YouTube and not try and load too much back onto my plate again in one go.
Yeah, because it might like end up putting you off again. So there's no point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my lord! Can't wait till next week's over.
Philip Mason just woke up after a heavy lunch. You lucky bastard.
The best kind.
Go to sleep. How do you go to sleep after lunch?
Yeah, am I late? He is like 86. You have to give him some credit.
He's 86. God, he looks so good.
I know, it's really good for his age.
God, he's a handsome devil, isn't he? Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, you are late, Philip. Actually, you missed the whole political Guess Who with Angels being quiz mistress.
Yeah, I was, but he can like go back and watch it. I wonder if he'd get. Actually, he'd be really proud of me because 4 out of 5 of my things were Tories.
Oh, see, now you've just kind of ruined it for him.
No, I mean, no,
yeah, this is the wrap up. So yeah,
exactly. And I haven't actually ruined it because I was asked that question in every single one, and I said yes. So
true.
I don't want to do canvassing, but I have to do like about an hour, and then we're going to the pub.
Yay!
On the night of the election, I'm assuming you're going to be at a town hall somewhere for the count for your ward.
The count is actually, it's normally during the night, but weirdly this time it's the next day. So Friday day I'll be there all day, but I'm gonna for security they have to you're obviously not like allowed to film or anything, and because I wanted to vlog it, and my friend's coming with me, and I had to put her name forward because they had to like check people out. Obviously you just make sure they're like legit and stuff, and they give you these like wristbands to say that obviously you're a candidate or like a guest of a candidate and stuff, and they're really funny about you going like walking out and then going back in and stuff. But I was going to actually sort of vlog it and then like upload it onto my channel just for a laugh, so people can see like what's going on and give them little updates, because I mean I might get completely and utterly trounced. So I really, but you know, at the end of the day, an independent has not stood in that ward before, and when they first approached me and asked me, they kind of asked me to stand basically as a paper candidate anyway. So anything more than 5 votes, and that's good, you know. But I think I'll do better than that. Like I have been really slogging at it. I should do all right.
I think so. I think at the very least, the sort of mark I'd set myself against is, can I beat at least one of the other candidates? That would make me feel pretty good if I was running.
Exactly, because it's also very like you're already at a disadvantage if you're not with obviously one of the major parties. Like you don't have the party machine behind you, you don't have anywhere near the funding or the teams of campaigners, or like, so you know, pretty much in every single way you start on the back foot. So you just have to sort of try and do it.
A lot of this is a discovery mission for you. I mean, this is a kind of thing, you know. So I mean, once it's all done and dusted, I know you can't really answer this question now, is would you run again? And then like once it's all done and you know the count's in, you've seen your position, whatever it is. I mean, if you get elected, that's obviously brilliant. Like I said, I'd vote for you in that ward. But you know, it's a discovery mission. You now know what it takes to be a councillor. You now know what it takes to run an election process. You now know, you know, and I've got a lot of respect for someone that's willing to put the money where their mouth is, as it were. And well done you.
Well, I mean, I'm actually quite proud of, like, even though I'm exhausted, I'm quite proud of like the stuff that we've covered so far. It is a lot of roads and stuff, and the people that, because not just the flyers either, we've done the posters up, and I've done things like as well, which the other candidates I haven't seen that they've done, at least up to this point. We have like piles of my leaflets like in one of the pubs on the bar. It's just like the first thing that people see when they walk in, and we've got like piles of leaflets in 2 of the local shops as well, and they're fanned out, so you can basically see my name in the residents group and like straight away, like as they, again, like it's right on the left as they walk through the door. So it's little things like that, like visuals are quite important, and I think it helps.
I'm wondering, sorry, just a quick question. Is the picture you use for your promotional the same picture as your avatar?
God, no, are you kidding? Could you imagine? No, but the picture I chose is really like sort of trying to be, it's actually cropped from a photo with 2 of my mates. I was actually a little bit pissed in it, to be honest, but it looks like quite sort of, I wanted to come across like, because it's a very mixed ward, I didn't want to look super slick, like, you know, typical politician at all, but I also didn't want to look like a tramp. And so in the photo that I picked, I just looked like a sort of an approachable, sort of just normal person. Do you know what I mean? Because I thought that, you know, you can't go wrong with something like that. And it doesn't look too staged either. I feel like the really staged ones are also a little bit off-putting. So, yeah.
I think for locals, yeah, you're right. You know, local councillors, definitely. You want someone that's down to earth, approachable, you know, all these things. Because, you know, if your bins aren't being collected, you don't want to be going through or feel like you have to go through, you know, 15 people before you actually want to speak to the person that you want to speak to.
Exactly. And I feel like as well, when you're not running as a major party, like I said, and you're playing off this sort of that you're a local resident yourself type thing. So you are literally a resident candidate. You have to look approachable because that's exactly what, you know, like you are a resident like them. So it's important that you sort of come across like that. But I don't know, my leaflets are obviously nowhere near as they're like quite crappy compared to national parties, but then we don't have the funding for it, so it's not.
So are you gonna, if say let's say you get elected as councillor of your ward, will you set up a new channel and do like a chat where, you know, residents can talk to you directly and you can answer questions?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because I want to be accessible for it, because sorry. when I've been chatting to lots of the ward residents, and like when I was obviously picking up like what was concerning them and things, like so many of them basically said that they feel like the councillors within like the borough council as a whole are just not very accessible. Like it's not easy to have a normal discussion with them. It's not easy to get in touch, or if they do try and get in touch, like that, you know, their answer isn't very quick, or, you know, just stuff like that. And so I thought, right, if I do the opposite to that, that's going to bode well. Like even if I don't get elected, if I choose to kind of like that approach, I can tell whoever stands in a year that that's the best approach to take, because it'll obviously go down really well with most of the people that well, most of those people do actually already turn out to vote. But the problem with that ward too is that tons of people are very, very disillusioned, especially around on the estate and things like that. And so apathy just means that they just don't show up. But like the results would be so altered if they just showed up. Like if somebody mobilized them, I don't think it would be a shoo-in for the incumbents at all. So I don't know. It's an interesting one. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. When is the count?
It's next Friday. So it's like, so obviously polling day's Thursday, and like Swiss said, normally the count is like throughout the night basically. Yeah. But it's Friday.
Could I ask you, do you know if that is kind of like specific to where you are, or whether that's going to be like across the board, like everywhere will be counting on a Friday? Do you have any idea?
I don't actually know. I presume it will be everywhere, because sometimes often they'll just have blanket sort of council rule, you know, borough council election rules. So maybe it is. I mean, I don't actually understand why it is, because it never usually is a thing. So.
I'll have a quick search now, because saying that you know, I'd come back to my channel next week possibly to do a stream for the locals. I need to actually make sure where the count's going to be, because that'll be useful to find out ahead of time.
I mean, yeah, it's just odd. And the thing is, there was a day count ages ago, where, and I can't remember why that was a day count either, but I was there with my dad, and I was really annoyed because, when obviously the count is all night, the bar in the place is open, whereas if it's in the day, they have shit all to drink. So I was like, oh, please, half the fun of coming to a count is so that we can get, like, you know, lovely warm glasses of cheap wine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but this time probably not, like tea and coffee, maybe. I don't know.
So my question to you, Swiss, are there are two wards that Labour are concentrating on. Westminster being one of them, and what's the other one? It's slipped my memory. I'm actually looking for it now.
Does it also begin with a W?
I think so.
Is it Wandsworth? I think that's another one I get here being spoken about at the moment.
Oh, Wandsworth. Yeah, that should probably be Labour anyway.
I'll have a look. Are you asking me what I think is going to happen
on those two specific wards? Because Owen Jones tweeted about it earlier, actually, and he was saying that. Let me see if I can check his history. Because he does tweet a lot, so he's got a fucking mounting on him to go through. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, Wandsworth or Westminster.
Right, and that's for the council seats. I'm quite surprised that Wandsworth is not a Labour council, or at least
last Labour 40 years ago, apparently. Westminster has never been Labour.
Wandsworth and Westminster, neither of these were councils that I was especially thinking were going to flip, or at the very least, they're not the most likely councils to flip. There are other ones that Labour's got a better chance of grabbing.
I think they're the least likely, especially Westminster. But
yeah, I mean, I'm looking here in front of me. Let me see, Wandsworth, Westminster here. Westminster at present has 45 Conservative councillors and 15 Labour councillors. So they'd need to have 15 flip over from the Tories to Labour just for them to be even with one another.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, by the way, like next week I'm going to kind of do what I did for the general election last year, which is go through each of the councils and just kind of by large try and put in a rough guess whether it's likely to flip control or not. So that'll be a good activity for a day or so once I get around to it. As far as things look at the moment, I don't especially feel it's likely that either Wandsworth or Westminster will be flipping to overall Labour control. That doesn't look too likely to me at the moment.
I wonder if there'll be a seventh. And if Dad gets elected, although I don't think he will because the other independent will split his vote. But I wonder if either of us get elected, whether there will then be a seventh or eighth independent on Runnymede Borough, which will be shocking because it's entirely Conservative.
I hope so. At the very least, just to change things up a bit.
Do you want to know something really, really fucked up? At the weekend, I obviously have to hammer my ward, and I've still got things left, and I've got help at the weekend, which is awesome. I'm really happy with. But my mum has been asked to help campaign for Labour, who are doing both Saturday and Sunday in my ward. So I'll be going around canvassing with help, and my mum will be canvassing for Labour.
For Labour.
For Labour. And we'll probably all end up bumping into each other. How awkward is that going to be?
Labour with momentum behind them are a formidable canvassing team.
I know they are. Yeah, and I can't compete with that. Like, I cannot compete with a party machine. So I need as much help as I can get. But having said that, my coverage, my leafleting coverage is almost 100%, or will almost be 100%.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So
if you
carry on, Cam.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, carry on.
If you take enough votes and Labour gains some votes, right? So the Conservatives lose to Labour. Would you consider that achievement if you take the votes of the Conservatives to enable that?
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess I would, because the council that I personally don't rate who's in charge at the moment, so someone else can have a shot. Why not? But what's really weird is, like, obviously as an independent, you don't, as I said before, you're an unknown quantity in the sense of you don't know what votes you're going to get. Like, you might shave votes off the Conservatives, but equally from maybe Labour or UKIP or Lib Dem or Green. Like, you could technically take votes from across the spectrum. So it's difficult to predict, really. Like, I would say probably the frustrated Conservative vote in the ward might would have to come to me, because there's no Lib Dem. So I really don't know. I really, really, really could not predict it. Last time I tried to predict it, like, Trump happened and Brexit happened and God knows what else did. So I'm just going to say never and leave it at that.
That's cool though. It'd be so wicked to like have you on the stream and call you counselor. So counselor, what do you think?
I don't like my surname's boring though. Like Clark is so boring, isn't it? I'd prefer to be
Counselor Clark. Oh, no,
Counselor Clark.
Yeah, you got the alliteration. You could be a Marvel superhero. What would your superpower be, Counselor Clark?
Oh God. I mean, there's
Radical
so many I
centrism.
want.
Punctuality.
Yeah, that would be my superhero power.
The ability to manipulate time.
Yeah. The ability to make time stand still would be perfect for me because I'd never be late for anything ever again.
Yeah, but you're the only person that can turn half an hour into 45 minutes or half an hour into...
No, I can turn like 5 minutes into 3 hours easily.
Yeah, you're great.
Yeah,
you're great at making time longer, but just not good at making it shorter or making it stand still. So
it's awful. My friend has been turning up like with the car. Like she's been like, right, you ready? We've got everything together. I planned the route and blah. And I'm like, of course I'm not ready. I'm still like wandering around. Like I'm not even properly dressed yet. Like I haven't even put makeup on. What? Like who are you kidding? She always says I'll be there in 10 minutes and then turns up an hour and a half later. Like deliberately so that hopefully I'll be somewhere near ready. Oh man.
Well, it's always a lady's prerogative to be late, which is the first thing. But like it's weird, you know, because I've been here for so long, and everything's so efficient. Everything's just like now, you know, now. You know, you if you order a pizza in the UK, how long does it take? Like 45 minutes, hour. You know, here it's like we're like within like 25 minutes, you know. You're like, wow.
Is it?
Yeah, everything's proper quick. You order a taxi, it's outside the front in like 2 minutes. You're like, fucking hell, easy. I haven't even got my shoes on yet. Like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, nothing's ever late. Nobody's ever late, you know. And it's starting to rub off for me. And then when I go to Europe and places like that, I'm like, God, this fucking bus is 2 minutes late, for fuck's sake. How does a country even run like this? Like,
oh my God, no. You see, actually, like having said that, in Holland, people are quite efficient. I think so. They're laid back, right? They're quite sort of liberal and quite like chilled out, but they're actually quite efficient. Like they're not really overly late or anything. Like I don't know whether I don't know whether it's a cultural thing or maybe I've just noticed it differently. I suppose it depends on who you meet, doesn't it? But
I mean, I'm not joking. Like I say, every train in Europe, or every time I've hit public transport in Asia, it's always been on time.
Oh, really?
But I've been, you know, through most of Europe, and I'm not joking. Every time we got public transport, it was late. Every time. So even in Germany, which was really weird.
Really, the Dutch trains that I get are brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Don't in Japan, right? Don't they hire people to push people to trains?
Sorry, mate.
So I heard about that. In Japan, I heard that they hire people to push people onto trains.
Oh, I
thought you said in front of trains at first.
No,
to get them on the trains.
Yeah.
Oh, and is that what capacity is that in then? Is it because like the trains are really crowded or something, so they've got to squeeze another person on? Is that how it works?
I would assume so, but I've never been to Japan or saw the trains. I just heard about it.
Just sounds like an average day commuting, to be honest with you.
I'd heard, and I don't know whether this is like an urban myth or not, but I'd heard that in Japan there are like fines that they'll issue the families of people if they like go and jump in front of a train, because obviously it will have, you know, inconvenienced the train network and all the rest of it. But depending on how close you are to like a city centre and how important that particular bit of transport infrastructure is, the fine will vary. So you'd be better off committing suicide in the countryside on a train line than you would in the middle of a metropolitan city. Now, I haven't fact checked any of this, but I remember hearing it like a year or two back, and it sounded like something the Japanese would do, because they're very sort of, oh no, that would be, I wouldn't want to ruin everyone else's day by killing myself in front of a train. Very dishonorable, or something like that. But I don't know if you can shed any light on that, Champchi, if you've heard anything similar.
I've heard nothing like that. And again, when it comes to what Cameron said about his they have employees that push people onto trains. See, Japanese people are very, very polite, very, very polite, and they're very conscious of people's personal space. So, I personally can't see it from my 3 weeks that I've ever spent in Japan. But who knows? Maybe it's a provincial thing. Like, I've never been to Tokyo, for instance, but I have been to Kyoto and Osaka and Sapporo, right, which are two completely different ends of the country. And I have never really seen that, or never really heard about it. But I will speak to people in the know, and I'll get a better answer for you. But in Korea, that doesn't happen, and Korea is very, very heavily influenced by Japan because of the 40-year occupation. So
that's fine. It's just I thought I'd check just in case you'd heard of it or not.
No, I didn't. No, I haven't heard of it. But it doesn't mean it isn't right, though.
Yeah, I just looked it up, and I put a link in the group chat on the side, basically, of these people pushing people into trains.
Oh, right. Okay. Interesting. Does it say what city it's from?
Tokyo Line station between Shibuya and Yokohama.
Okay. Well, if it's Tokyo, like I said, I've never been to Tokyo, so.
But that's the video is legitimately what he was describing, which is just the trains are so full, they're just they've got conductors just shoving people through the doors.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Interesting.
I'm going to be jumping off in a few minutes, guys, because I'm going to be making some dinner for me and the Baroness. I was just wondering before I went how you guys think the local elections are likely to go.
Oh, can I go first?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it, Councillor.
So I think that the Conservatives are going to make quite significant losses. I think that Labour will gain anything up to a couple of hundred seats, actually, probably maybe 150 plus. And I think the Lib Dems are going to make quite significant council gains as well, because like we said before, like they appear to be quite good in certain council seats. And I don't think we'll see the amount of complacency in councils that are, for example, mainly Conservative controlled or all Conservative controlled, as we did in the last local election, for sure. That's my prediction anyway.
Okay, I'll go after. I think I basically echo that. I think Angels is basically right. What concerns me is that essentially what Labour want to do with this council election is they want to show that the Tory government is unfeasible, and to do that they need an almost total wipeout of the Tories in local council seats. Now, what I predict will happen is there will be a near wipeout, but it won't be enough to topple the government. That's what my fear is. My hope is that it will be a complete fucking whitewash, obviously, but my fear is the Tories will hold on to just enough to keep their government viable, and that's my prediction. As specific as I can be, and as being as vague as I'm trying not to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You think they'll suffer some losses, but it won't be catastrophic enough to take the whole show off the road.
Yeah. They'll lose a wheel or two off their wagon, but they'll still be able to drag themselves along. And it will after next week or whenever it is. It will just be comedic value, and it means that we have shit to talk about, because there's always, like, at the moment, what we've Rud and May and this whole Windrush thing, we always have something to talk about, which is really savage, because this is people's lives, and I know that, and I know how bad that sounds. But fuck me, Rud, mate, Rud, just resign, mate. Just resign. All the time she's in the position, she's got to be doing more damage and good, surely. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But yeah, that's my prediction. Cameron, what do you think?
Whatever you want, Wood's not going to resign. The main reason is she's one of the most loyal allies of Theresa May. She's going to need all the help she can get. Right? Before last election, I actually thought she was grooming Amber Wood to be her successor.
Yeah. Yeah, I can. You're exactly right, but that's far too much nuance for me. I still think you should resign.
I have a question for you guys. Do you think that if the Conservatives do get pretty spanked, like
they are
going to
get spanked, like, but
yeah,
degrees of spanking, though, isn't it?
Do you think that basically a Conservative leadership challenge will be called?
Like, hypothetically, if the Tories did get absolutely spanked, and I'm talking about losing, like 500 seats to 1,000 seats, something really catastrophic, then I think what we've been hearing, a few months ago about Theresa May's leadership being in trouble, then I think that could well trigger something. But that's kind of assuming they get spanked. And I'm actually going to have to nip off in a second. But just quickly, for kind of what I think at the moment as well, and I haven't gone through and done all the council by council analysis yet, but what I think so far is that UKIP are likely to lose probably about 100 seats. They've only got about 160, 170 up for grabs at the moment. I think they're likely to lose a lot of seats. I think the Tories will pick up a fair few seats from UKIP. I think overall Labour will probably gain some seats, maybe a couple hundred. The Lib Dems maybe somewhere under 100, and the Tories are the biggest question mark for me, because I think the Tories stand to lose a lot of seats from many directions, but at the same time they're going to be gaining some from the Kippers, so they will be topping themselves up as well. So the Tories are the big question mark for me, but I don't think it's going to be like a catastrophic night for the Conservatives, but I do think that Labour are going to perform better than they will.
Yeah.
So you think, would you have the Conservatives, if you had to gun to head place a bet, losing at least 100 seats?
That's a bet that I'd make. I'd put money on that. Yeah.
I think that's a bit conservative. Blah. Sorry, no pun intended. But yeah, I think 100 is very conservative. I think much more than that, honestly. But like I say, is it going to be enough to really put the shits up the Tories? I don't think so. It's not going to be. It's going to be the spank fest that Labour wanted to be, shamefully, which is annoying. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Labour made massive. I know I shouldn't really compare general elections to local elections, but here's a quick question before you go, Swiss, because I know you'll have the answer to this.
Sure.
If there is a leadership challenge after these council elections, does that necessarily mean there has to be a general election, or can they just do it?
There's nothing to say that there needs to be a general election with a change of leadership.
That's what I thought.
There might be some pressure in order for there to be one, but there's nothing like by the rules that says there needs to be one.
That's what
But I just very quickly again just caution. I really doubt that these local elections would trigger a Conservative leadership election. I don't think they're going to do that badly.
But we'll see.
We'll see. Of course, we'll see. Anyway, that'll be me shooting off for now. So thank you for having me on. It's been nice to chat to you guys
Oh,
again.
It's been great for you to come.
I know. I'm so glad
for
that
a
you
little,
joined in.
Yeah, come back off your spatical. Spatical. Just for a quick nip in. Thank you. And we'll catch you soon.
Awesome. Yeah. I'll be back.
How it's going.
So I will do, yeah. I'll be back on like Captain Switzerland some point next week with some local election related stuff. So I'll see you guys then at the very least.
Alrighty.
Bye bye.
I'll speak to you later.
Laters.
So what I'm going to do is, as we've basically finished the political Guess Who stuff, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up again to the floor, because I'm not sure about you, Angels, but I know you're busy, and you, like you said, you have to head out soon. Is that right?
I do, yeah. I've got to do some. In fact, I should really go now, really, because I've just realised it's like 7:25 already, and you can't obviously canvass too late. So it's good to catch people after work. So I probably won't do long. I'll do like an hour, and then go to the pub. But I mean, if you open it up to the room and you guys are just streaming and just general chat, then I can definitely hop in, later.
Well, I won't be up for that long, but we'll see. It depends how it goes for you down the pub, really.
No, I'm not going to be long down there. I'm too tired. I've got a long day tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Well, I'm just going to stick there's no randoms in there, so I'm just going to stick the join link in the chat if anybody wants to join. So there we go. But yeah, I really do wish you the best of luck in this, and I really want us to have a counsellor.
Yeah, we can exactly, and especially like one of the regulars kind of thing. It'd be quite fun, and because we can I can keep you updated on like just local government's not that exciting, like I said, but it's just quite fun to be on the inside of it, and just getting a bit of experience and stuff.
Yeah, and can I ask you some really vulgar questions when it comes to being a counsellor?
Yeah.
Sure. Like, what's the money like?
I think I don't actually know fully. I know that you get some expenses, and then I think it's about 700 quid a year or something.
700 quid a year.
Something like that. It's not like you don't get like a wage or anything per se. Like you don't.
So it's not like a full-time job then, or is it generally used as a leg up into like?
Yeah, as a general rule, people go into local government. I mean, some people are obviously employed by local authorities. So I suppose some people do it because maybe they've worked in local authorities, then decide to stand as a councillor as well. So,
right.
But I mean, I'm not actually totally sure of the money, but I believe it's something like that. I know that you can claim certain expenses and what have you. And I know that you have at least one council. So it's one council meeting every month, but obviously sometimes emergency council meetings are called depending on the issue. And then, of course, on top of that, you handle the residents' sort of problems and get in touch with.
I thought you were going to say for example, then. You got to deal with those fucking stupid residents with their bullshit questions, and then like,
it's the bin being emptied. Yeah.
There's this dog down the road from me keeps shitting all over my garden. You go and have a word.
Yeah, and it always sounds quite like menial, right? But like when it's because I guess day-to-day life is quite sort of mundane and like is quite boring. And if somebody's like almost tripping over a pile of like fly-tipped rubbish every time they leave their front garden, it's like, yeah, it's just it's a horrible thing for people to have to put up with, really, in like a decent, in their home area. So I mean, I understand why people complain about things like that, but I mean, that's what I would always obviously try and tackle as best I can, because their living standards go massively down. And if you see like rubbish everywhere, and not to mention the fact that I told you there was an elderly lady in particular who had a bunch of rubbish, but it was on the public highway, but it was just, which is the council's responsibility, but it was just outside the front of her house. She was very elderly, and she walked with like a frame, like assistance. And she could have easily tripped over it and fallen on like a daily basis. the council just did not collect it. And she had got in touch loads of times. And like stuff like that is just not good enough. Like I would be a lot more diligent as a councillor than I think some of the people are now. So I mean, some of them are good, and I mean, it's not necessarily party either. In fact, it isn't necessarily party. There are some very good Conservative councillors, but that there are also not very good councillors, and I feel like the residents deserve better.
We all know you'll love the Tories. You're never going to live that down, by the way.
I know, with the fifth, allegedly being a yellow Tory anyway. So, gosh.
Well, I don't think so. Daddy Vince. I think he's a little bit outspoken on a couple of things, like calling all Brexit voters racist. I think is a bit. It's a bit fucking.
That's quite unlike him. Like, I'm quite surprised. I don't know. Was that out of context or?
No, it wasn't at all. Go on,
Cam. Quite unlike him.
Yeah, Vince Kim was a bit of they said manic at times. No, it said Labour were colluding with the Tories for Brexit, which is the most ridiculous thing I've actually heard.
Yeah, like he probably has come out with some silly things. Mind you, having said that, I can think of plenty of people who have.
The Vince Kim was like the angry old man, like saying, "Get off my lawn." Go on, kid, stop giving me that Brexit.
Yeah, but I mean, I tend to agree with him. He can just come into the bunker with me and James Fielding; it'll be fine.
I'm sure it will drop them by then.
No, it's not that. I mean, to be fair though, to give him his due, he hasn't aged badly. All the ballroom dancing and
I know it could be, the British Dracula. Who knows? But anyway.
All right. Well, on that note, British Dracula. I will. Yeah, I'm going to head out. I'm going to do the last bit of canvassing and stuff. But yeah, thanks for having me, and it was fun.
Sorry about that. Let's step from mute. Angels, you're brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And what I'll do is I'll post about round 2. And hopefully it will be about this time next week. I generally aim for midweek. So yeah.
Okay, it will have to be before polling day because I'll be at the polling station.
I like Wednesday. Like pencil me in for Wednesday.
Wednesday will be my last day of canvassing as well. So like, and I've got the loudspeaker on Wednesday, driving around the ward.
Awesome!
Yeah,
Weird.
I know. It's like a tannoy.
What are you going to say with the tannoy? Vote for Angels, because
because your other councillors suck.
Yeah, everybody else is shit. I know I might be a closet Tory. Don't listen to YouTube, but hey. Angels for comfortable shoes for everybody.
Oh yeah, God, tell me about it. Especially, I need them especially now. I tell you. Right, alrighty. Well, like I said, thanks for having me, and I'll see you guys later.
Nice one, Angels. Take care of yourself, and good luck.
You too. Thanks. Bye.
Cheers. Cheerio.
God, G.
Yes.
G. I was really, really, really bad earlier. Like, you're gonna hate me for this, but I yeah, you probably hate me anyway. But I turned down a job earlier because they weren't paying enough. That's really bad, isn't it? Especially when it comes to teaching.
I don't know. I'm not going to judge. Depends what it was.
It's teaching. Like, so well, it's bloody $30 an hour. $30 an hour? Is that all? I'm joking, but yeah, that was really shit.
Well, you know what? More people in this country get paid less than that.
Yeah, I know. It's true. It's true. I've made a habit of failing upwards, you know. But I like to think I'm quite good at my job. So yeah. Yeah, a lot of people do get paid less. Out of interest, Cameron, if this is not too much of a personal question, what do you do for a living? Because I realise I don't know either of you guys. Tell me. Like,
I'm currently a student, but I don't work.
What do you study?
History.
Of course, yeah, of course I know that. I knew that. What area of history do you specialize in?
It's mainly modern history.
So, like yesterday, last week. So, what happened?
Modern history is defined as anything after the French Revolution.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah. Well, in my dissertation, I'm doing the 1945 election.
Oh,
the Anglo-American loan.
Oh, that's a very interesting subject. Very interesting. So, are you talking about the fall and the fail of Churchill and the rise of, was it Clement Attlee, wasn't it?
Well, you call it fall and fail. That wasn't the case. Churchill was incredibly popular, right?
Because he won the Second World War, of course.
It's not at the start, but Churchill was popular, but the Conservative Party was hated, right? And this is why they lost. It wasn't no confidence in Churchill. It was no confidence in the Conservative Party. As Attlee said, the Conservatives were haunted by Chamberlain's ghost.
Yeah, that's true. So are you going into a lot of the policies that Labour put forward and into rebuilding Britain?
That's not my. It's not necessarily my focus. I talk about ideology a lot, but I don't do a bit on policies, but not too much. Even though a lot of the policies are incredibly important, like the implementation of the beverage report, which was key. Even though the Conservatives and Liberals endorsed it, but the Conservatives were very extremely reluctant.
Yep. I'd actually be interested in reading your dissertation once you've published it. Like, could you once you've given it in, can you send me a copy? I'd love to read it. Maybe. Go on, I'd love to read it. Like, what's your target word count?
10,000.
10,000. I did an art degree, and mine was 8,000. So 10,000, not too bad. Usually you hit 12 and then you edit. You get 10% either way, though, don't you? So
no, we got rid of that this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, right. It's interesting. So can you literally just write as much as you want or as little as you want? No, that can't be right.
No, it has to be around 10,000. If it's a bit under, a bit below, it wouldn't be much of a problem.
How many chapters are you writing?
3 main ones.
3 main. Then your introduction and conclusion
yeah.
on top of that. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that makes sense. Interesting. Okay. So you don't get guidelines. So you don't get penalized if you're over 10%, but just not stupidly over.
There's no 10%, right? If you get 10%, you probably will be penalized.
Yeah,
because 1,000 words is a lot to add on. I'll say about 100, a couple hundred. If you get more than that, you'll be penalized.
Fair enough. Also, do you think it's got stricter rather than? Ah, right, okay.
Well, it depends because we got rid of this limit for everything, but the essays in the third year were all 3,000 words. Now they're 2,000 words. So it really depends.
So, okay, interesting. Okay. Question from Bubblevus. Have you read anything by Carol Quigley?
No, I never heard of her as well.
Never heard of her.
No.
Well, let's do a little Google. Carol Quigley rings a bell for me for some reason, and I have no idea why. Carol Quigley. It could just be because it's a funny name. Oh. Okay. That could be why. Carol Quigley wrote The Evolution of Civilizations, Tragedy and Hope. The Anglo-American Establishment. Okay, interesting.
Oh yeah, it is.
Those two, the evolution of civilizations I've heard of, and Tragedy and Hope I've heard of as well. Hence, I suppose I've just never read them. But
yeah, now it rings a bell, but I haven't really read them.
Okay, there you go. I think. So when's your dissertation due in? Probably in like a week or two, isn't it?
It's in May. So it's about 3 weeks.
About 3 weeks. And how are you doing? You should be into your final editing stages now, then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Cool, man. Rock and roll. It's such a. Oh, mate. I remember like my final year at uni, and my dissertation basically consumed my entire final year. It was such a nightmare. I'm not a writer by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, it's all about some time in it, really. Yeah.
Bubblevis says nobody has read him. Chamchi. Tragedy and Hope is 1,300 pages. Well, I read People's History of the US, and that's quite a massive book. I mean, I'm not sure how many pages that is, but it's fucking massive. It's about 100 hours of reading. So, you know, I read that. A lot of it I can't remember, but yeah, A People's History of the US is massive. Man, that's a dense fucking book, man. Jack James was Quigley, the original Alex Jones. Maybe. Okay. I want to see this. People's History of the USA. Pages. Yeah. Howard Zinn. God, it's really expensive. How many pages are in it? It's quite massive. Have you read it? People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn?
No.
Oh, it's quite massive.
Yeah, I do know a lot about early American history, though.
It doesn't say. All right, on paperback, it's 1 1/4 inches in depth. That's quite thick.
So this is by Howard Zinn?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got 729 pages, apparently.
Oh my God. So yeah, it's half the size of that. Oh my God. So yeah, 1,300 pages, quite massive. Wow. Okay. So yeah, fair play then. Tragedy and Hope, 1,300 pages. That is pretty fucking dense. It took me about 6 months to read People's History. It took so long. So long. But yeah. But yeah, I'll definitely check out Carol Quigley. Is there something I can get? Like, are there graphic novels? Because you know there's a graphic novel of People's History United States. Cameron?
Oh, sorry. I don't know. I haven't read any of these actually.
Oh, all right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap up this stream anyway. It seems to be pretty we've pretty much done everything. G Wesley just left. Nice one, G. Saying goodbye. Thank you, Cameron, for coming on. And like I said, you're so on the next panel. Thank you to everybody in the side chat. Philip Mason, nice one. Bubble Vis, always a pleasure. And Jack James, mate, well done for guessing Daddy Vince all the time. And take care, everybody. Goodbye. Say goodbye, Cameron.
Goodbye.